Obviously, I just activated Siri. That's mad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is vintagejords on Instagram, vintagejords on most of my socials. And yes, welcome back to another episode of basically a behind the scenes talk about some of the concepts that I do. So for anyone who's seen most of my videos on Instagram, I'm now uploading them onto YouTube and with a little bit of a behind the scenes talk about the thought process behind the concepts that I make. So in previous episodes, I've spoke about Queen and Slim. I spoke about a video I did for Turf Games, and now on today's episode I will be talking about a video I did for Stamina for Sale. Stamina for Sale is a brand, a boxing brand run by Tundae Ajay and a lot of team members, boxers, trainers under that brand name. So I've been given an opportunity, shout out to my boy Gary Blake, who gave me an opportunity to kind of help create content for Stamina for Sale. If you follow me on Instagram or if you see most of my videos, they include videos I've done for Anthony Yarde, Bilal Ali, and the video I'll be talking about today is the recent video I did for Alex Bishop. Alex Bishop is one of the new fighters under Stamina for Sale. I think he's from Luton actually, which is around the corner from where I'm originally from, Bedford, if anyone's from there. Woo woo. Put your hands in the air and wave it like it. I'll cut that. The video I'm talking about is a short video I created of his first bout under Stamina for Sale. If you know anything about what I do in terms of that, is I work under Stamina for Sale creating content for them. So a lot of like our video assets, a lot of what you see on their page, there's like a video team behind there. Head of production is Gary, and then there's a few camera teams under him that kind of create content for Stamina for Sale. So which is a great opportunity, especially starting off as a videographer. I was looking for content and more portfolio, and now I've been offered a position where I can create my own original concepts. I get to meet fighters. I get to even watch some boxing events that you might see live, which is awesome, and there's also amazing seats that come with that. So shout out for those sort of plugs. When I first started making videos for them, just a bit of a backstory behind that. It was a case of just bringing my camera, bringing my equipment and shooting stuff. It was so free. Like, I don't know if most videographers or any creatives always feel kind of restricted working to a brief, not even to a brief, but just working to something where it's a bit like, this is what we want. And it's always so relaxing to hear, do you, or like literally just do whatever, talk to whoever you want, ask them to do whatever you want, and they'll do it. And like, it's probably one of the best things to hear as a creative, especially if you have a vision in mind of what you want to do. And it's awesome, especially if you're asking big ass boxers, yeah, who, you know, you've seen them knock out people, TKOs or win, and you know, they're probably like, not even probably, they are better fighters than you, and you're basically going up to them and saying, can I use you to do this, or can you do this, can you do that? Kind of feeling like you're bossing them around, and it's actually quite a sick, it's crazy, so it's quite a sick feeling. Alex Bishop I met for the first time at his fight, which I think was held in Bethnal Green. There's a boxing arena there, and what was really interesting about this was, oh mate, it was a painful journey getting there, but you know what, I'm not even going to talk about that because we're talking about behind the scenes stuff. So I met him for the first time at the arena, so I had to quickly introduce myself. This is my first rodeo doing content for boxers at their fight. So with that, built a lot of confidence. I kind of knew, like, once I get in there, you know, say hi to everyone and just get to work, because if you're dilly-dallying around, you might miss some things, and you kind of start getting a routine in mind in terms of like what you want to get and how, like, when things are going to happen, in terms of, you know, the fighter wants to get into it. One thing I feel like I don't want to be doing is invading that fighter's, you know, mental place, because obviously he's trying to get himself psyched for the fight, and I don't want to be there going, hey, look, my camera's here, or hey, look, my camera's right in your face, can you do this? So it's kind of picking the perfect time for that. What I wanted to do differently is I wanted to create something that felt like, I'm a big movie buff and I love my films. So one thing I really wanted to do was to create like a video promo that kind of felt a bit like a film. A lot of what I've done in the past is very much training, fight, result. We've done that similar format quite a bit. So with this one, I felt like one thing that, like I said before, it's good about Stamina for Sale, they allow you to take risks. You can switch it up and they won't feel a type of way about it. They're really, really easy to work with. So this time round, I was like, right, cool, let's create a concept where what you're doing in your training, what you're doing in your build-up is going to represent what you do in the fight. I don't know if that gives away secrets. I don't know what that really does. I might have to stop doing that, who knows, but so far so good. Yeah, so that was the thought process behind this concept. It was like, right, cool, so you're training and you're doing these sort of jabs, which you're gonna replicate or continue to do in the ring and hopefully win by doing the things that you trained with. If any people that actually follow boxing, you know that people obviously train, spar and prepare for fights. When they find out who their opponent is, I'm pretty sure they go into a lot of detail, a lot of like groundwork to figure out what is that person's weakness and how do we exploit that. So that was kind of the mindset behind this concept. I wanted to create something where in that training or in that in his room, he's getting prepared for something that he knows. It's just, you know, he's been practicing for it. He knows what he's doing. So from the moment he's in his room, changing room, getting ready, he's doing a couple jabs there. Those jabs, I'm trying to find that in the footage later on. So I've got all the warm-up footage that he's doing. I've got like little things. I've got a couple of little cinematics, things that I try to set up and play. So like the beginning, it's just him sitting in by himself. There were people in the room, so it was like a case of trying to move people around. I wanted him to look like he was like in his zone, getting ready, preparing, looking chill, then practicing, and then cutting those practice moves with what's happening in ring. And that it was kind of just a flip between the two. So yeah, it was quite nerve-wracking because you're banking on what he's doing in the room, he's going to end up doing later on. So it was kind of trying to flip between the two. So yeah, once he got into the ring and started fighting, it was just a case of trying to capture as much as I could. You're always trying your best to capture all the money shots. Like, that's what makes the video interesting, to see like anything that looks like just a highlight. If you ever watch like highlight videos on any sort of boxing fight, it's always like a broken down version of all the best bits. Like, that's kind of what you want. No one wants to be watching the full 30 unless you are like a devoted fan. But some people that are not introduced to boxing or don't know who the fighter is and are like, they're intrigued, something like a highlight reel of the fight would be more enticing than, more interesting than the full bout. This didn't take too long. I mean, something like this was thought about before. Like, I prepared for it. Like I did like a lot of research. I didn't actually do a mood board for this one, but I did just take my time with what I was recording in the changing room. So it was very much off the back sort of guerrilla style shooting, because I was like, I knew what I kind of wanted to create in terms of like, right, what he's doing in the changing room, he's going to be doing in the ring. So those are being meshed together, but I didn't know what he was going to be doing. So it was just a case of being like, try and capture as much as you can in the changing room, which gives you something to play with in the edit. So yeah, now I've got, now I'm making sure I'm prepared in terms of getting the shots that he did in the beginning, getting a little bit of him like, you know, doing some pad work. Now he's in the ring and he's doing his thing, making sure I've captured the right thing and making sure I'm getting audio, because audio is also really good to hear, especially if it's a positive result. You want to be hearing that. You want to be hearing kind of that announcement. Luckily, if you see that, the camera kind of pans up because I almost missed that shot. So it worked really well as a shot, which actually I think it looked decent. So luckily, if you see that shot just before it announces he's the winner, I think I must have like paused it, or I don't know what I was doing. I don't know why I paused it. So I was panning up, almost missed that shot, just about caught it, and him announcing him as the winner. And yeah, so something quite short, snappy and simple with this one. I kind of don't want to spend too much time on it because I know like I'll start being my own worst critic and then just taking so much time trying to, you know, perfect everything. Music wise, I'm a big fan of, like I said, films. I'm also a fan of Creed. It was inspired by, I think it was a deleted cutscene of when Michael B. Jordan's character Creed is in his changing room, kind of getting into the zone. And it was a bit like that sort of vibe, because that's what I originally had in mind for that part. And then everything else kind of just fell in place because I was just using, again, music-wise, it was from the feature, it was from the soundtrack, so it fit in place and that worked really well.
Breaking up the cage, tell them like the change.
You just got to be really careful with obviously using sound and audio and cutting it and this and that. The song fit really well because I wanted it to sound like it's like a montage sort of vibe, which worked really, really well. And I think people got the Creed reference. So yeah, that's pretty much the concept for that. I will be uploading that, so check that out. It's something quite short, simple. One thing that is really interesting is, obviously with where I am now in my career in terms of like the equipment I have, it is quite limited to what I can do, so I try and do things as effective as possible. I know that if I had a full production to do something like this, it would be completely different, but it's always interesting to see how far you could push yourself with what you have. Basically not feel like, oh, you know what, I don't have this, so I can't do this. Give it a go, see what you could create, you know? And then when you actually are given the opportunity to have the equipment, or you have the luxury of having everything you want as an equipment or production, then you kind of had a blueprint ready, you know, you've given it a go, rather than, you know what, I don't have these lights, so I can't really do that. Give it a go, see what you could do. So yeah, that's the Stamina for Sale video I did for Alex Bishop's first fight under Stamina for Sale. Check it out. Thanks again for watching this video. My name is vintagejords. Please like, subscribe, and press the bell notification to get a notification next time I upload something. So yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I think we're getting better with these videos as well. I think you're going to see a growth in these videos, right? Because the first one, I don't even know what the problem was there. What was the problem? Can't think about it. Second one, have no idea why I was looking off camera. Felt like I was in an interview, and on this one, I think we're gonna nail it. We're gonna nail it. Oh, I think the first one was audio. So now I've got some decent audio. Now I'm looking right into the lens, right into your eyes, and yeah, so hopefully we can keep it consistently getting better. Please comment or DM me or message me, email me, drop me a like or comment underneath. What else you want to see? If you've seen most of my videos, please drop a comment underneath and be like, can I see a concept for this video? That would be amazing. And yes, we out here.